Coffee with Firecat at Firecat Coffee. I'm your host, yet again, Adam Firecat. I am suggested by my media mistress that we do sort of a month-to-month review. How did the month go? First month of opening, before our grand opening, this coming month. This is also the end of the year. Happy New Year, one and all, for what it's worth. Not a holiday guy. Don't know if I've stressed it before. So I'll open with telling you about these fake noodles. They're impasta. At any rate, how to tell all of this? I know that opening business, it's you can expect a lot of things, but to try to tell somebody to expect the unexpected, it's a weird saying. It wouldn't be unexpected if you expected it, right? It's just something we say, but I think we get what we intend to mean. Just try to be as prepared as one can, right? I don't know that there's a way to prepare for the things I've had to deal with in the first, I guess, not technically the first month of opening. We opened late. Thanksgiving, like that, the fake Thanksgiving time frame. We opened a little later in November, and then this is the first month we're kind of counting towards everything. So my month in review will include a little bit of that. We opened our first day. Everyone kind of got a feel for what the place was like, and honestly, I thought this was going to be wonderful. Going forward, everything would just go pretty stock and standard. Boy, howdy. I've been told by my media mistress that I shouldn't curse much, or if at all, in any of these sort of videos where I describe my experience. I think I'm going to use one expletive to kind of describe my first month here running this business. And I'll go ahead and get that out of the way now. Holy shit. Okay, that's done. For the kids and sensitive types, you needn't worry about that going forward for the rest of this conversation. Let's see here. Did you know that signs that light up that were made in the 90s, some of them have neon and transformers inside of their boxes and can go bad over 3 decades and change and catch a building on fire, potentially. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. That should have so little safety features on it. And then at some point during about the middle of this month, started to smell something electrical. You can't really mistake it. It's an electrical burning sort of scent. And anybody's familiar with electrical burn, that's not a scent you mistake for anything else. We found it, and it was in the lighting box, which was for the business lane sign that came with the building. So, it's when they lit up, I thought that was wonderful. I could light the business lane, and it would sort of give it sort of a distinct feel. It was green, solid, as most banks usually have. I also have an open, close lane that switches back and forth, where they're open and close. These are unique to the building, as it was a former bank. Kind of cool. I like the idea of it, and so the business lane I would click on, and that would be the one people would generally associate with going through, try the drive-through out. We're still working on how we present all that. But it almost caught the building on fire. I have underplayed that a lot. We had to take it out, gut it, put new electronics back into it, and I didn't have specialties in any of this stuff, so I had to hire people. That was a bunch of money, like a lot of money, out of pocket to solve that problem. because no one wants to do any of this stuff for free, of course. And who would expect it? And that was its own issue. There was carpet that was forbade. We had carpet like that thin stuff that might as well be concrete in a certain area, and the health inspector wanted it ripped up. And I said, yeah, we could do that, but and there was also the threat that if it wasn't done, we would be shut down. It's like it's barely like it's barely carpet, but we had to remove that, and I had to have four guys, well, three guys and a lady assist me with that, and that was no cheap effort, and it took all night and cost me an ass ton of money, a ton of money. I didn't expect to have to, but we got it done, and the next day everything was checked over and we were solid. I mean, I've never personally ripped up floor before, but new experience. I have no problem with it, but it needed a lot of people's help. I couldn't have done that all in one night, all by myself. And I'm grateful for the team. But yeah, that went through some funds pretty quick. Then there was me trying to reestablish, get more funds involved. And I'm having to work, and I can't stop. I haven't stopped working ever. I think the entire time I've had this place running, I've been out working so I can support the place and my own bills, rent. And it has been a bit of a struggle because the place hasn't, we haven't done the grand opening yet. All students are out of town. And I'm just going to tell you for nothing, don't start businesses that are not holiday oriented around the holidays. Boy, that was just ill conceived. And that's on me. I'm going to blame myself a little bit on that. We probably should have started after the year was over. Given that they put me off so long until the end, I was just ready to open. I wanted it. I desired it. More than anything, I wanted to be open. I was tired of being told no by 20 other government prevention measures, and I finally got all the paperwork, finally did all the things they asked for. I wanted to open back in May, June. So November is how long it took me to get everybody situated, everything arranged. And I finally did it, but boy, this was not the month. I did all this, and then there was some halt at the bank. Apparently, they had some flagging and have been flagging randomly, but they had flagged my accounts briefly for what they called a potential laundering scheme. They didn't have reason to believe that, but it was so strange. So I had to clarify every charge, everything I've ever spent. So I almost had to have an audit without having 1 month of operation under my belt. I'd never heard of this before in my life. And that was to the detriment. I know my landlords. I love these guys. These guys are great. If you've never been to Mountain Man Pond, I'd suggest you go. They're wonderful peeps. They were very patient with me because Lord knows that would not fly normally, and it shouldn't. I I had to battle trying to get the rent payment on time because my account is locked up because I'm being looked over like I needed an audit before I even started, I don't know, my first month out. Like, let me finish 1 month at least before you start asking these weird questions about, it looks like you could potentially be a laundering operation. I don't know, how does a coffee shop equate to that? I don't know if this is part of a bigger investigation series that's kind of looking into random things popping up here and there. This is just some kind of standard that did not help us. It took me way too long to get my funds ready to go again. And I know I had pushed the patience a little bit of my landlord on that one. but I'm grateful they were very, very cool about it, cooler than most people would have been, and I'm thankful. So I gotta say, uh, I stick to my earlier expletive. I'm done with holidays. I can't wait for the student body to get back in, and I believe we'll be back. We'll be running full throttle with DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. I think that was the inclusion we were working on, is getting all the menu items straightened out on that. Once we're done with that, and the students back in, and we're advertising heavily to students, think we should be it should be in order. Everything should be. I love to use those hypothetical words. Should be. It might happen that way. Can't predict the future, I suppose. But that's why I can only describe the past in these month reviews. I hope next month will be better by far. So that reminds me of a joke, because I know you can't wait for it. How do you throw a party, a New Year's Eve party even, on another world? You plan it. Okay, that's enough of that noise. Happy New Year, and may your following year go better. Hell, I know I could use it, but we'll see how everything works out. Till the next report, this has been Adam Firecat for Firecat Coffee. Thanks for joining us.